Hello and welcome to GEOSCOPE with me, Graham Hughes, and Ollie Bowlerhatman. How you doing, Ollie? You all right, mate?
I'm all right. I'm all right.
Yeah. Nothing going on, really, is there? We had a
No,
conversation
nothing.
earlier.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely nothing going on
We were like,
whatsoever.
what's there to talk about? Someone said in the chat he's making a cuppa. I was actually. That is exactly where I was. I was like, I really need a cup. I need a cup of tea just to calm me down, a little bit. Shropshire Chris, welcome to Lone Star, mate. Shropshire Chris is now a member of the channel. Gets a nice little rose after his name. We've also got in the chat, we've got Alan Jackson, we've got Chris C, we've got someone called Bowlerhatman who just says soon. That's kind of a bit intimidating. Just says soon. Like, imagine if there was someone dressed as the Grim Reaper standing at the side of the road and you pulled over and you said, hey, do you want a lift? And he just went, soon. That'd be really scary, wouldn't it? Anyway, if you'd like to join Alex French and SG and David Huardo and others and Phillips in the chat, all you need to do is hit that lovely rosy subscribe button and subscribe to the channel. Wait for half an hour. Anyone who's a Trump fan, a fan of Trump or Putin or fascism or Nazism can F off and D. And please don't come onto our channel. There's many other channels to choose from that you will probably like more, where people are actually, sex offenders channels. You know the type, like the Tate brothers. You probably prefer to be in the company of sex offenders, possibly like yourself. I don't know, just saying. But if you come on here, we will mute you and boot you. Right, Ollie, should we get into it? What do you want to talk about first?
Yeah, well, let's talk about the fallout, shall we?
Can we just mention Puninator's just already put a super chat in to ask where's the bowler hat man.
Oh well.
With no time for bowler hats today. No, I'm sorry. There's just too much going
there
on.
We go. There we go.
Perfect. Jedi bowler hat. It's Jedi going to the office. Trump's Ukraine betrayal, a gift to Putin. Trump's
absolutely
economic warfare, a gift to Putin.
This all came off after last Friday. After that disastrous Oval Office meeting,
which I think was humiliating for America. It was humiliating for Zelensky.
Like, that was simply probably the most worst act of diplomacy I think there has ever been witnessed. And there were people who were, if you look at all the US commentators, they are shocked. In fact, there was a woman, I can't remember what her name is now, but she's on CNN. She's really famous. I can't remember her name now. But she is famous because she goes to Afghanistan, all these war zone places, completely goes out there and reports all that stuff. And she's there after it and she's just like that.
Yeah.
Just can't believe
what just happened.
What's going on? What just happened?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know what to say. That's what went down. I mean,
it definitely comes across as coordinated. I think that's what a lot of people have been saying, that it really, really is. That it really just is. It was coordinated. It was a coordinated attack, basically to try and look good to his home crowd. It really did look like that.
Yeah.
It really did look, because Zelensky was trying to make a point. And it's the point that everyone always forgets, because everyone seems to forget what Ukraine keeps on continually asking for, which is security guarantees.
Yeah.
Because since 2014, they have signed 14 different ceasefires, peace agreements, you name it.
With Russia.
Putin has broken them all.
Yeah. Every single one. He's never seen
everyone.
He's never seen a treaty he's never wanted to break. I mean, the big one is the Budapest Memorandum, which was in the early 90s, in which Ukraine gave up its nuclear weapons in return for assurances from Russia and from the US that its sovereignty would be respected.
And not just gave up. Like, we said to Ukraine at the time, look, we will make you an international pariah on the scale of North Korea if you do not give up your nuclear weapons. that's how like that conversation went at the time back in 1991. You can go look up the quotes from the people involved, what they were saying to Ukraine at the time, why they want to give up the nuclear weapons. But Ukraine was like, under one condition, you give us, security guarantees and make sure Russia can't use military or economic, because again, important point to note, force against us. And what has Putin done? He's done both of those.
Yeah. I mean, Putin's
and then invasion in 2014, annexation of Crimea. And it all starts then. They've been signing stuff since then. Ceasefire deals, Minsk 1, Minsk 2, all broken by Russia.
Yeah.
Why should Ukraine trust Russia again?
Well, why should it trust America after America has just betrayed him, stabbed it in the back, voted for a man who they know is controlled by the Kremlin? And they love it. They love it. Well, we'll come to that. But the big thing is that military aid yesterday to Ukraine was stopped by Trump. Apparently it's been paused, but it's been stopped. This is what they said about US aid, when food and medicine going to starving babies in Sudan. They said it had been paused. It hasn't. It's been stopped. Fewer weapons. This means more Russian advances. I mean, Trump is trying to force Zelensky into what amounts to surrender talks. He's holding Ukraine hostage until they agree to give up land to Russia and their mineral reserves to America. Yep. Why would anyone go along with that? Why would anyone in their right mind go, yeah, take all my stuff, it's fine?
Yeah. I mean, he's
not in his right mind.
It's unbelievable. There has actually been a post from Zelensky in the meanwhile on his Twitter profile about this. So he has tweeted literally just a couple of hours ago, I would like to reiterate Ukraine's commitment to peace. None of us wants an endless war. Ukraine is ready to come to the negotiating table as soon as possible to bring a lasting peace closer. Nobody wants peace more than Ukrainians. My team and I stand ready to work under President Trump's strong leadership to get a peace that lasts. Notice what he's again saying, a peace that lasts. Because they do not want to be fighting this again in 5, 8, 10 years' time.
Yeah, and that's the whole point, isn't it?
Do not want to be doing this.
Yeah, left to their own devices, the Russians will betray everybody and, somehow come out on top, somehow.
Yeah.
Putin is absolutely
and I want
thrilled.
to put forward because
he's absolutely thrilled. He's launched 100 drones.
Yeah, the biggest drone striking,
biggest drone strike so far of the war. The EU's announced a major new military loan. What was it? 158 billion, was it? Military loan to
very substantial
to Ukraine to make up for Trump's betrayal, his treachery.
Not just to Ukraine, but to give them more NATO rearmament capabilities.
Yeah. And it does look very much like the Kremlin is dictating US policy. So when all those dickheads, the 77.3 million dickheads in America who voted for Trump, they were actually voting for Vladimir Putin. Do you think they're all proud of that? I know some of them are, but do you reckon they're all proud of that?
Not very. I mean, there was I've seen a video today of an actual group of US people who went out to fight in Ukraine. And they said very clearly, the guy was like, I voted for this guy twice. And he couldn't believe that Trump's done this.
I would have fucking slapped him. I said, "What? So you voted? You saw what happened first time? You voted for that again? Sorry,
yeah,
it doesn't get anything. You leave it nothing. You fucked your own country. You fucked the world for what? Because you're a dick. That's why. Because you're an idiot. That's what you've done. You fucked the world because you're an idiot. And now Putin is going to take full-on advantage because there's a sucker born any minute, and there is no sucker bigger than a Trump, Elon Musk, Bitcoin bro. They are the fucking stupidest people who have ever walked this planet, and they've handed their country, the US of A, on a silver platter to the fucking Kremlin, and they think that Putin is their friend and he's gonna help them out.
Well, that's the big thing now. It constantly looks like Trump is siding with Russia constantly in all
Yes.
this. And this is why everyone is so alarmed over this, because it keeps on saying stuff that is like pro Putin, pro Kremlin, repeating Kremlin talking points on this.
Yeah.
So it is really worrying that he's been saying all this.
Yeah.
But I'd just like to go back to the post that Zelensky's made, because he does continue about an idea how to end the war, which again I think he's right. He said, continued saying, "We are ready to work very fast to try and end this war, but the first stages could be a release of prisoners and a truce in the sky, a ban on missiles, long-range drones, and bombs on energy and other civilian infrastructure. And a truce in the sea immediately. If Russia will do the same, then we want to move very fast through all these next stages and work with the US to actually agree a very strong final deal." So to all these people who, especially on Trump's side, have been saying, "Oh, Zelensky doesn't want peace. He wants to like continue this war." That is a very good idea. That is how you start these negotiations, by saying, "Okay, let's see if you're serious. Truce in the sky and sea.
Yeah.
No more bombing. No more drone strikes on our civilian infrastructure, energy infrastructure, and we'll see if you do the same. We'll see if you reciprocate."
Yeah.
You know, and then he even continues again, because he keeps on saying, "We do really value how much America has done to help Ukraine maintain its sovereignty and independence." So there you go, JD Vance thanking, he's thanking America, but he's constantly thanked America
thank
throughout
you
all
of the
this
week.
stuff.
Yeah.
And we remember, of course, the moment when all this changed, when President Trump provided Ukraine with javelins, and we are grateful for this. Our meeting in Washington at the White House on Friday did not go the way that it was supposed to be. It is regrettable that it happened this way, but it is time to make things right. We would like the future cooperation and communication to be constructive. Regarding the agreement on minerals and security, Ukraine is ready to sign it at any time in any convenient format. We see this agreement as a step forward to a greater security and solid security guarantees. And I truly hope this works out effectively. I hope so too.
Yeah.
I really hope so too. But this isn't the first time Trump has done, as you know, I posted earlier on in the chat. This isn't the first time Trump has asked for a a minerals deal, because he did one with Afghanistan.
Yes, he did. Back in
2017.
2017.
Yeah. Did one back in 2017 with the Afghanistan government to develop, all the mineral resources in Afghanistan. But what happened? Trump sold out to the Taliban, released all those Taliban prisoners, and then
had a meeting with the Taliban in America, invited them over. This is the deal he had. It was September the 27th, 2017. He had it with Ghani of Afghanistan, the leader of the President Ghani of Afghanistan, to develop rare materials there. And this obviously totally prevented Donald Trump from selling out President Ghani and the Afghan people to the Taliban. You can't trust Trump. You can't trust Putin. That's the thing. At all. Ever. We've got a couple of super chats that have come in. Thank you very much for them. Tim Ballon, first of all. Malcolm Nance on her, please. Malcolm Nance? What's that mean? You know what Malcolm Nance is? Sorry, Tim. You gotta have to explain that one, mate. Sorry. It's too late in the evening for cryptic crosswords. But thanks anyway, Tim, for the super chat. Really appreciate that. And then Jovianar, has Trump responded to this yet?
Not that I can see.
He's too busy.
But like I say, Trump's going to tell it like it is, because obviously he's doing a State of the Union address.
Yeah.
So we'll see if he mentions Ukraine here again. But that is going to be sort of a lot later on in the day. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
Jesus.
But this is, this is bad. From what you've been hearing for a lot today as well, Ukraine does have weapons. At least it can continue to fight. If America does pull out, it's going to make it harder for them to resist, but Ukraine can still continue to fight. We have still, Europe has said we will continue to, back them, provide them with weapons so that they can continue to fight. So,
yeah,
they can continue to fight. It will just be a lot harder.
I mean, Trump demanded 500 billion in minimal rights. There's not even that much minimals there. Do you know what I mean?
Oh no, eight. No, that's even lowballed it there. 800 billion.
And that's more than Germany
800.
had to pay, right? Isn't it? It's
Yeah,
more than Germany
had
to
pay
end of World War One, which they lost.
Yeah, more than the Versailles Agreement.
Yeah. Tim's responded to the super chat question that I had with another super chat. Thank you very much. Former US intelligence plus 36 years expert MENA /SWA.
Oh, is this the? Oh, I think this is who we were talking about. I was talking about at the beginning, the woman who was on CNN.
I don't know what I don't know what the words mean. How do we tell Tim that I don't know what the words mean without looking really like I'm not on top of everything? What does MENA mean? What does SWA? Single white arsehole. MENA is the mass enterprise of North America. Benjamin says this year's State of the Union address could really do with going the same way as it did in Designated Survivor, says Benjamin. I wouldn't shed much of a tear, to be honest with you. It wouldn't be great if the Designated Survivor was AOC.
Yeah, no, I've just looked him up, actually. Yeah, Malcolm X, he was the guy who was on LBC when this happened.
Yeah.
And this was the former intelligence officer who generally actually shed a tear. And that's how bad he felt about all this.
Wow.
So yeah, there's been a lot of very, very strong feelings come from this.
Wow.
Especially from a lot of Americans who have really, really responded very, very bad to this.
Yeah,
really.
Well, Trump's saying, give us your resources, or you get no weapons. Give us your resources, or we're going to let Putin... And also parroting the lines from the Kremlin about it's all Ukraine's fault, and they should be more grateful, and all this bullshit.
Yep.
Victim blaming at the upper echelons of the American government.
But the really worrying thing is this has come once again to the fore, because we know I think it's worth reminding everyone again what Russia actually wants in this peace deal and what they would demand, because I think it's worth going over again to remind people what they want, what they have stated continuously. It is a complete and full defanging of Ukraine's military.
Yeah.
Like, they would not be allowed any helicopters, any jets, 12 artillery guns, no tanks, 6 armored fighting vehicles, and they would only be allowed, I think, 65,000 people in their armed forces. That's the cap that Russia wants on them.
Yeah.
Like, that army cannot defend Ukraine at that point.
Yeah.
That army can just not defend Ukraine. And that is still what Russia insists on. A completely defanged a Ukrainian military.
Yeah.
But that is what they are still insisting on.
Not just that, like, setting up mining operations takes years. Ukraine's at war. It's an absolute con. It's not an America first deal. It's a Putin first deal. Because if Ukraine collapses, Russia takes all those minimals, which is what the end game with all this is. Russia is trying to destabilize all of the currencies in the world, trying to destabilize China by telling Trump to put tariffs on China, destabilizing Europe, destabilizing NATO, destabilizing the USA, where the prices of everything go through the roof now. Inflation's going to be crazy.
Yeah, we'll talk about those tariffs in a moment.
1,000 points in the last 24 hours. And it's a disgrace. There's a thing in the chat where Richie Goffer said, I have a question for anyone in the chat. Had someone telling me that Ukraine have been unaliving Russians for years and that Donbass want to be part of Russia. I've been trying to do research. So Richie Goff, first of all, that's not true about Ukraine unaliving Russians. That's just simply not true at all. What happened in 2014 was that the people of Ukraine rose up and got rid of their pro-Kremlin ruler, who was ruling over them with an iron fist, and they actually had free and fair democratic elections. And they elected someone who was more Western-facing. Putin didn't like that, and so Putin invaded, took Crimea, and a chunk of the Donbass. His justification for doing this was that there were people who speak English there. Now, imagine if England, Wales, and Scotland were 3 different countries, and we invaded Wales on the ground that some people there speak English. Or, even better, we invaded America on the grounds that some people over there speak English. Well, they speak our language, so we can take their land. Russia signed a deal in the early 90s with Ukraine to respect its sovereignty. Even if it hadn't, you don't go babbling into other people's countries. Most of the big wars that we've had over the last, since the end of World War II, have been civil wars. They've not been countries fighting against each other necessarily over land. They've been countries collapsing in on themselves because of different religious or philosophical or political outlooks. But this is something else. This is something else where the biggest country in the world, Russia, cut its teeth invading Georgia, the country, not the state, and getting away with it, taking a third of Georgian territory, meddling in elections, in referendums all over the world, sending in mercenaries into 26 different states in different countries in Africa and destabilizing them on purpose to create refugees. What does Russia want to do? Create refugees. If Russia overruns Ukraine, there will be 20 million Ukrainian refugees flooding into Europe. And that's what Vladimir Putin wants, because he doesn't want any of us to be happy. He doesn't want any of us to be healthy. He doesn't want any of us to have a long life. He wants us all to die miserable and alone in a basement of an easily preventable disease. Because he is a sick motherfucker. And do not believe any of this bullshit that comes out of the Kremlin. Just absolutely, it's unstoppable. The con, isn't it? The bots and the fake news, the propaganda coming out of Russia. Ukraine did not start this war by any stretch of the imagination. They did nothing wrong except for democratically elected democratic leader who didn't want to be ruled by Moscow. That was their crime.
Yeah.
Because he just wants all those former USSR countries like Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan. He wants them all to be little vassal states of Russia because he wants to go back to the good old days of the USSR. It's as simple as that. Jovian, thank you very much for the super chat, mate. £5 super chat. I don't think the mineral deal was Trump's first priority. I think Putin's advantage is his first priority. Yeah, Jovian, I completely agree on that. We've had some clarification from Tim. He meant getting Malcolm Nance to come on here onto Politics Social. I will write down his name and I'll give it a red hot go. I will look him up. If I ever can remember how to write letters again. My hand seems to have gone all wrong. Right, if the Dow drops 1,000 points in 2 days, the president should resign immediately. Who said that? Any ideas, Ollie?
Oh, no idea.
It was Donald Trump in 2012. Oh. He said if the Dow Jones drops 1,000 points in 2 days, the president should be impeached immediately. There's always a tweet.
Yeah.
So do you want to talk about the trade war then?
Oh, you mean the dumbest trade war in history? I don't know why. Don't know why he's doing this. Because none of the you look every single economist has just been, what is going on? What is he doing? Why is he doing this? Yeah. You get nothing from it.
Well,
and here's the thing.
Do you know who does get something from it, Ollie? Vladimir Putin.
Well, I don't think so. I think this is all to Trump's own personal crazy, bizarre idea. Because I'm in a position where I agree with Andrew Neil. I know, Andrew Neil of all people, but I agree with him on this. He's putting these tariffs, which, bear in mind, like Canada and Mexico, massively, really dependent on like trade with America. So these 25% tariffs really going to affect really going to be affecting their businesses and their economy. people's lives. People have already lost their jobs today off the back of this.
Yeah. I mean, this has gone nuts, hasn't it? So Canadian goods, 25% tariff. They're not even sure what goods are exempt because it's not been made clear. A lot of this hasn't been made clear. Zelensky has asked for clarification on what actually, is the military aid getting stopped? He's had no official line on it. It's just come from Trump's fucking Truth Social. Like, that's how he's running international diplomacy right now. We just had another super chat.
There's a story running right now as well that even Poland didn't know.
No.
Like Poland learned about this, reading it about on social media.
Yeah. We just had another super chat come in. Thank you very much to Witchy Goth. Thank you. I suspect he was a bot, and hearts in the color of the Ukrainian flag, something like that. Thanks for Witchy Goth. Yeah, almost certainly a bot. But one of the things that I wanted to do last year when I was trying to set up this automated bot network, this semi-autonomous response network, which wasn't quite a bot network, it was more like giving us the information so we could spend 10 minutes a day going on, the links were there. What you needed to say was AI generated, and it was different for everyone. You could write it in your own tone of voice, and you copy and paste it and put it in all these places. They'll go on Twitter, they'll go on the Daily Mail reaction page, they'll go on YouTube video comments and things like that, and you could post them there yourself and just spend 5 minutes doing it each day. They have that. And don't you notice that if something mad happens in America, instantly people call up LBC in support of Trump, in support of Putin?
Yeah.
Almost like that. Almost as if someone's got a group of people together and said, you need to call in the radio and say, oh, well, Ukraine, basically, they were killing all these poor Russians. And Russia had no choice but to invade and blow up an airliner full of innocent people and murder over 100,000 civilians and kidnap over 20,000 children.
I mean, that's the other thing that hasn't been discussed. What about all those children? What about all those children? Never ever gets brought up any time. It again is hugely frustrating to me as well. All those children have been kidnapped, and in some cases, what we know, sent to camps and brainwashed.
Yeah.
In some cases, to be pro-Russian.
Yeah. Anyway, go back to Canada. Obviously, Justin Trudeau is furious. He's called them dumb, and he said
that, like I say, dumbest trade war in history.
Yeah, he's retaliating with their own tariffs on $155 billion worth of US goods. And did you see the Premier of Ontario, Doug Ford? Did you see his clip?
No, I haven't seen his clip.
So he's banning US booze from government liquor stores. He's ripping up his Starlink contract, so Musk loses money. And he had this beautiful line where he said, and if this goes on, I'm going to cut off your electricity and I'll have a smile on my face while I do it. And I was like, so there's 1.5 million homes in Michigan and New York and one other state. And they are supplied with their electricity from Canada. And this guy can turn it off.
Oh, please do that.
How'd you like them apples? And Trudeau said, someone asked him, why is he doing this? And he's saying, because he's trying to cripple us economically, and that will make it easier for the US to annex us. And then he said that Canada will never become the 51st state.
Yeah, that's very unlikely to happen. It would be incredibly difficult to do.
Yeah. Now, on the other side of this, so Mexico, where all those hot-headed people live who, just react very emotionally to everything, they've said, we'll let you know what's happening on Sunday. Give themselves time to adjust to it. And I can understand why Canada just sort of stood up and said, oh, piss off.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't know. I think it might be interesting to see what happens with Mexico and whether they manage to negotiate something by Sunday. Don't know. But if these go ahead, as well already started, it's going to wreck cross-border trade. Yep. So you've got things like cars, and in the same way that we had just-in-time delivery all over the EU and Brexit ruined all that for the UK. Well, the same thing's going to happen in the States. There are cars that go back and forth the border, or parts of them go back and forth across the border to put all the bits together in different places, and then they come back into America. And Trump's got this mad idea that all the things in the world can be made in America. They can't. There's certain geographical location, what they call geographical markers or whatever, where it's a protected brand. You can't stamp sparkling wine with champagne and claim that it's champagne. You can't make me a lovely Coventry little flaky bakery thing.
Oh, it's only in the EU.
Call it an Eccles cake if it's not from Eccles. No, I mean, a Canadian whiskey, for instance, is a geographically protected name, and you can't make it anywhere else. They can't get Canadian whiskey. They can't make that in the US, for instance. And that's probably a bad example. But there's also oil. So nearly all of the crude oil that America imports comes from Canada.
Yep.
And he's like, well, we've got our own oil. Yeah, you have, but you haven't got the oil refinery places needed for the type of oil that they have in America. Because the lighter oil they have in America. And their oil refineries are set up for a heavier oil that, they can not just make petroleum from, but they can also make tar and things like that for going on the roads.
Yeah. I mean, I've said before, I think, honestly, we should be going to Canada and doing, right, what sectoral deals can we do, right now?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Oh, my God. We should be getting there. I'm should give me mate Johnny Reynolds a call. He's business secretary, and I'll give him a call. Mate, do you want me to go over to Canada and do some fucking trade deals in the next 2 days? I'll do it. I will wine. I will dine.
Not like a full trade deal. Just do sectorial deals. Oh, we need wood for construction. Excellent. Because of these tariffs, a lot of American construction is done using Canadian wood. That now costs 25% more.
Another good example. America doesn't have the lumber. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't have the trees that take a long time to grow. He's too thick to understand this. He thinks that everything in the world is available in America.
Yeah.
So yeah,
there's so much we in Europe could do right now with Canada.
There's also the brain drain as well from America. Attract the brightest and the best from the USA right now, because that's what we should be doing. Giving them golden visas, telling them to come over here, bring their families, we'll have you. And you can protest against the government and we won't shoot you in the head. As Trump has pretty much threatened to do today.
Did you see the ICE Barbie do a little border stunt with Canada as well?
No.
No, this is Donald Trump's pick to run ICE. And she's been doing all these crazy stunts, going on raids, basically for photo opportunities to say, oh, look how good I am. She did one with Canada and basically called it the 51st state constantly. Right. Didn't refer it to as Canada, just kept on calling it the 51st state. But back to something else I want to talk about, because Andrew Neil made a very interesting point. I think he's right. He talks about the fact, because Canada and Mexico are so economically dependent on America, that if they go into a recession, which these tariffs might very well cause that to happen, then there's a very good chance that America could follow.
Yeah.
Because when one country goes into a recession, it very does often affect other countries around it as well.
Yeah.
And if Canada and Mexico go into a recession because of these tariffs, then it is very likely America will do so as well.
Yeah.
And I agree with them on that. I don't agree with Andrew Neil every time, but I'll tell you what, broken clock and all that, I think he's right. I think he's absolutely right on that. Because he might very well find himself, screwed.
Well, Andrew Neil can go fuck himself forever, because he's the one who was a massive Brexitter all over the politics shows, which was supposed to be impartial.
This has ended Brexit.
Editing the fucking Spectator. This is all out the Brexit playbook.
Brexit completely.
Yeah, all the Brexiteers should be excited about this.
Yeah, this is what needs to be said to all these Brexiteers now. What do you Trump has killed Brexit.
Yes.
This is the final nail. And bear in mind, April 2nd, something's happening on April 2nd he keeps on talking about, where he's going to tariff people who tariff us, and have regulations that like damage American businesses. I think that's when we're going to get the EU tariffs and on us as well.
Yeah.
So April 2nd.
Yeah.
Get ready. It's coming.
We got a super chat from Jovian R, who says cutting electricity affects things like hospitals, so not a straightforward choice, I imagine. Good point.
Yeah, well, they're not Canadian hospitals.
Yeah. And you know how little Americans think of their own people. I mean, it's a country that allowed over a dozen of its school children to be massacred in a school, and they did absolutely nothing about it. In fact, then just went on TV or on the internet and lied about it and said that the children didn't die. That happened. So, you know, they were prepared to sacrifice their own children on the altar of the Second Amendment. Then, you know, do they deserve electricity? Do they deserve oxygen, Ollie?
Yeah. So someone that Tim Balance said in the chat, apparently an American economist has said America is currently running at a 2% fall in GDP.
Wow.
That is quite big. That's 2% doesn't sound a lot, but that number represents trillions of dollars lost.
That's mad, isn't it? So yeah, even
Trillions
Trump's own
of dollars
party's worried. You know, there's some Senate Republicans are saying to expect economic damage, but they all love it. I mean, they're all going to cheer him later today when he addresses a joint session in Congress. They'll all be on their feet clapping him, going, "Oh, you're the best! You're the best! You're the best! Come, tell us what to do." And he'll say, "Okay, I'll tell you what to do. Hang on, just let me get on the phone. Hello, lad. It's Donny here. Can you tell me what to say?" And then he'll say it. Yeah. I mean, what is happening here? I mean, Trump's picked a fight with Canada, with Mexico, with the UK. China. So this is, to move on a little bit, J.D. Vance today saying that Britain was some random country which hadn't fought a war for 30 years. Apart from all those wars that we fought.
Yeah. Twice in Iraq and in Afghanistan.
What a twat.
Yeah.
What a gargantuan, unstoppable, cast iron, copper-bottomed twat. And he's there, you know, over 1,000 soldiers, military people died in Iraq and Afghanistan from Europe. Came home in a fucking box after the first time, only time, that Article 5 of the NATO treaty has been activated because America was attacked. And at the 9/11, we said, no, we'll stand with you. Coalition of the willing. And this is the fucking thanks we get. Why doesn't America say thank you to us, eh? Never do that. Running around telling everyone how great they are.
Yeah, we're living in a weird world at the moment. And remember, this is only like 6 weeks in. 6 weeks! This is what it's like 6 weeks in.
Yeah. And even you know, Trump can't get his lines straight. He can't get his lies straight even when he's lying on behalf of Putin. He said that Putin had agreed to NATO peacekeepers in Ukraine, or at least European peacekeepers in Ukraine. And Putin responded, fuck no, I haven't.
Medvedev came out and said, no, we haven't agreed to that at all.
Not. Like, Trump is literally making up pro-Russian propaganda. God, oh, they're not that bad. You know, they said they were peacekeepers. Again,
to go back to the Russian demands, it is very, very likely Russia is going to demand land that currently they do not hold.
Yeah.
Especially in Zaporizhia and Kherson.
Yeah.
And if they are given that land with those like two strategic footholds, which would give them access across the Dnipro, which is one of the biggest barriers they would have to face.
Yeah.
That would basically give them a future launching off point to any future invasion.
For Odessa.
Yeah.
And then once they've got Odessa, that cuts Ukraine completely off from the sea.
Yeah.
From the Black Sea. And then it's straight on until Transnistria in Moldova. It's only a few miles down the road. You can walk there in a few hours. And
I think they're going to demand a lot more land. They could even demand Kharkiv up in the north. Yeah. They could even demand that oblast because they occupied that, but like I said, the Ukrainians pushed them out at the start of the war.
But the thing is, right, I'll keep saying this. I apologize for repeating myself. But if Russia had any real power, it would have won this war in 3 days. It's 3 years later. They've lost the territory that they gained in the first couple of days, all of it. And now they've got that, they've been fallen back so far. And I know they've made incremental gains, but that's been at the cost of hundreds of thousands of meat bags.
To the point where they're now having to go to, institutions to conscript these people.
Yeah.
So that sounds like a wonderful idea.
Here's the thing, right? If Europe, what's holding us back from just going all out at Russia?
Well, this is it. I said this today.
USA, because Biden was like, no, don't be crazy, lads. We've got to. There's a way around this. We'll just do what we did with the Mujahideen, and we'll just fund the Mujahideen or the Ukrainians against this hostile foreign invader, and eventually they'll, after a bit of time, people will turn against the war in Russia, the war that they aren't winning, and they'll turn against Putin. Putin will get defenestrated. Happy fucking days. But that's not going to happen under Trump. So the gloves are off. I say, fuck them. Go for it. Declare war. Just say, right, that's it. We're done with this. We're declaring war on the Britain, France, and Germany should just unilaterally, trilaterally, declare war on Russia and say, get the fuck out of Ukraine. And we will stop fighting you once you get out of Ukraine. And don't even announce it. Just go out there and bomb the living shit out of those front lines. That's what I would do. Actually, I wouldn't declare it. I'd just bomb the living shit out of the front lines because they don't have air superiority there, right? And then when they say, oh, you just bombed the shit out of us, we go, no, we didn't. That's what I'll fucking do. That's what they fucking do. Just fucking have some of that.
There's like I say, I think Europe is approaching a very, very worrying point where we are going to have to consider intervention. I think the fact that you've got now this last chance at diplomacy, we've got this, like I say, you've got whatever Zelensky may be trying to do, maybe salvage something. And then you've got, obviously, the UK, France, and Ukraine are meant to be presenting a peace deal to America.
Yeah.
If Trump says no to that, where do we go from there?
We
it's an honest question.
No, sorry, you don't declare it. Okay,
if you've exhausted
I've got
every diplomacy,
special military operation. That's what we do against. That's what we go.
To have our own special military operation.
Our own special military operation against fucking Russia, and then we'll see if we've got any nukes. Because they definitely don't have any nukes.
The thing is, they absolutely haven't got any equipment. I mean, that's one of the big things of this war. The Russians have just burnt through all their equipment.
Yes.
They've lost almost more than like half the Black Sea fleet to a country that doesn't even have a navy.
Yeah. Yeah. They're fucked, mate. They're on their knees and they need Trump to come along, fuck America, so they're on a level playing field. Once America has a GDP on par with Grenada, then then they can negotiate, I guess.
Yeah.
Kieran, thank you very much for the £5 super chat, my friend. Russia will demand the lands that have mineral deposits. Putin doesn't pay his bills anyway. Of course he doesn't. That's why we'd have to start a special military operation against Russia. Just do it.
No, I mean,
tonight. Go on, let's go.
The famous saying is war is a failure of diplomacy.
Yes.
Right now, we are running into a point where every single diplomatic option is being exhausted.
You don't negotiate with a tiger when your head it's in its mouth.
Yeah. Like I say, you're running into a position where the Ukrainians aren't going to take any peace deal that doesn't give them like security guarantees, because that is what they've been asking since the beginning of this war. We want security guarantees. We want to make sure this war doesn't happen again in 8, 9, 10 years. And I will keep on repeating that because that is the point that needs to be hammered home.
Yeah.
And why they keep on talking about those security guarantees, why it's so important to them, because they do not want to fight this war again.
Yeah.
In a couple of years' time, and they want those security guarantees.
America is going to be very distracted over the next couple of days because of these tariffs and the fact that the knock-on effect of the economy and the fact that Trump has sacked half of the people who work for the government. So mass layoffs, huge amounts of unemployment, the price of everything is going to go through the fucking roof, including beer. people who like beer in America. And yeah, okay, cool. That while they're distracted, while they can't help their fucking new allies, Russia, fuck them. Take them now.
Yeah.
Do it now before they have a chance to figure out what happened. Just go along that front line and bomb the living fucking shit out of it with all of the shit we've got from across Europe. Just do it. Trump, like you said, half the fucking black Sea fleet has been it's been fucking blown up by a country that doesn't even have a fucking navy. Yeah. We've got a navy. We've got an army. We've got an air force. It's a Royal Air Force. Fuck them. Right. But yeah, the thing is when you talk about diplomacy, that relies on being able to trust the person who's signing the documents. Could we have signed a surrender document with Hitler? I don't think so. I think if he hadn't done it, we would have had to put a bullet in his head. And then someone else would have had to sign it on his, the next person, down the barrel of a gun. And if you don't keep to this agreement, then we'll kill you. We don't have that. We don't have that luck. we don't have Trump or Putin down the barrel of a gun. And they lie as easily as they breathe. They break every deal they've ever made. And they kill with absolute no remorse, no feeling, no emotion. They let people die left, right, and centre. They don't give a fuck because the pair of them are vicious psychopaths. So yeah, stand up to bullies. What do you think in the chat? Let me know if you think I'm fucking crazy. John C says, supposedly Russia have been modernising, upgrading their nuclear weapons, courtesy of Milo Mindbinder. Did you say Milo Mindbender? It's Milo Minderbinder, isn't it? Catch 22. Major. Do you know what we're talking about? No, okay. It's a good book. You should read it. Mark R says, key US imports from Canada, potash for fertilizer, oil. By strange coincidence, Russia has massive amounts of potash and oil, which it can resume exports of. It's very true. One of the first things that Trump did when he got into power was to remove all of the freezings of the oligarchs' money, and also he alleviated a lot of the sanctions that America had put on Russia. Almost as though he's working for the Kremlin. Anyway.
I think it's more really it seems to be a move back to great power politics of like the early 19th century. Yeah, the very thing that got us involved and why World War I became such a massive conflagration. Trump gets the Americas, Russia gets Europe, and Z gets
Asia, Southeast Asia,
and Pacific, and that's their sphere of influence. Whatever else happens outside of that, Trump doesn't care.
Yeah,
and it is to me, it's the signaling to a return of great power politics, and in great power politics, you need hard power.
Yes,
you need hard power.
Stick.
Yeah, so like it or not, everyone in Europe is going to have to increase their defense spending, because otherwise, you're the one that is on the receiving end of that great power politics, and that is going to be coming from Putin.
And the people who suffer the most are the people with the least, because they're having their aid taken away from them and their benefits cut. People, we're having to refunnel money that should be going to some of the most, the most poor, the poorest and the most neediest in the world. We're taking that away from them. We're taking their medicines away from them in order to fight against fucking Russia. Bastards. How dare they? We tried to fucking help them after the fall of the fucking Berlin Wall and their stupid, shitty country, their crappy fucking empire that was held together with fucking shit and super glue. When all that fell apart, we tried to fucking help them. We gave them massive loans to get themselves back on their feet. And this is how they fucking repaid us, the treacherous bastards. So yeah, no, I say fuck them. Is anyone else having... No one else is agreeing with me here. If I was Starmer on the first day in Downing Street, I would have activated Article 5. It says Puninator. Well, I'm with you, Puninator. Yeah. They attacked us. They murdered a British citizen, Dawn Sturgis, on British soil. Russian agents did that. That's an act of war, as far as I'm concerned. We can use that as a pretext, can't we?
Yep. That it's yeah, I think we're entering a very, very dangerous time now. I really do. I think things are going to get a lot more dangerous.
And can we stop getting shocked about the shit Trump is doing? Because he's just going to do the worst thing that you could possibly. So imagine the worst thing he could do. He'll do that.
Mm. I
Mm.
mean, the state of the union is going to be another interesting one today.
It's not a State of the Union. He's just addressing the Congress. It's not even
Oh,
a
he's
State
just
of the
addressing
Union.
the
Yeah.
Congress. All right, so he's going to say God knows. Well, apparently it's about these tariffs. Um, from what
Some
I can see here.
some Democrats are boycotting it. Some are holding an alternative event to fact check it live. I think the Democrats in the House should all turn up, all 200 odd of them, right, and clap all the way for his speech. And as they clap, they drop the C bomb every time they clap, in unison, all of them, all the way through his speech, because they can't throw all of them out. Just fuck it up for him. Get him really frustrated. Get him like a little head really, agitated, and maybe the fucker will have a fucking heart attack, eh?
Yeah.
And then I'll have a party. Would you have a party, Ollie?
Yeah, probably with you on that one. Oh yeah, on another one. This has just come out a while ago.
Oh God.
Um,
Oh God.
RFK Jr. Jesus Christ.
Oh.
He is backing vitamins to treat measles.
Mm.
So yeah, you don't need a vaccine, against measles, which we know is proven to work. No, you're just going to take some minerals instead. That'll cure your measles.
Fucking hell, mate. That's what that fucker. There's a guy called Matthias Roth who was a German vitamin salesman, and he went to South Africa and told people there that AIDS wasn't a real thing, and if you have HIV, you can get rid of it using vitamins instead of taking your antiretrovirals, which you're supposed to take, which actually keep you alive. And as a result of that, um, thousands, hundreds of thousands of Africans died because of one man going to sell some fucking vitamins. RFK himself, he went to Samoa in the South Pacific, and there was a measles outbreak, and he told them not to get vaccinated because the vaccination was worse than the measles, and 80 people died. 80 people died. He's got the blood of those people on his hands. I don't think he's ever going to go back to Samoa anytime soon. They fucking hate him there. Imagine a white guy going to a country where people aren't white, and then just murdering 80 of them, and then going back to America and living life large as a millionaire, and then becoming head of the fucking health department because he sounds healthy. We've got someone saying breaking news that they've actually agreed the minerals deal. I can't see anything on any of the news pages, but obviously if it's on the TV, then it's not something that's necessarily going to come up here. Oh, Bill Dares died. Oh, he created a spitting image. That's a bit shit.
Oh, do you see what happened in Serbia?
Oh, yes, in the Serbian Parliament building today,
Yeah.
tear gas was released and thrown around the place like nobody's business, in support of the student demonstrations that are taking place. So tell us a bit more about this. What the fuck was that all about?
So this is all to do with the you may remember we talked about this happening in Pakistan, that the students are, or at least the young people are very, very much in favor of no, hang on, very, very much in favor of looking at what has happened in the government, because there's been a lot of corruption in here. All goes back to, believe it or not, a train station. The train station roof fell on people and killed 15 people. This is where all this starts. And students are now leading protests to say, hey, government, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing in here? You need to get off, do something about this. So there is a lot of chanting now against the corruption that's been going on in Serbia. And bear in mind, Serbia, quite a pro-Russian country. So if Putin loses this to a lot of anti-corruption politicians, then he's lost another domino in Europe potentially. So That would be very, very interesting if that happens.
Bloody hell. I'm trying to find. I'm getting shouted at Guardian, Graham. All right, Ernie, keep your hair on. I'm looking at the Guardian website and I can't see. There is a review of the With Love Meghan TV show, which only gets 1 out of 5.
Oh no.
Oh no. I tell you what, I'm not going to go and see The Brutalist. And I was talking about this the other day, mostly because I hate brutalist architecture. But actually, it's quite funny because I found out since deciding not to go and see this that I'm really, really not going to see this because it reinterprets the brutalist movement, a movement that was set up by fascists. You have to understand, whenever you see a brutalist car park or like civic center in the middle of some godforsaken new town, that design aesthetic came from fascists, fascist Germany and fascist Austria, fascist Switzerland. And they've reinterpreted the whole brutalist movement as being created by a Jewish guy who was in the concentration camps, and then he decided to invent brutalism, which is a bit weird because they've given the Jewish guy credit for something that fascists did, which is a bit weird. I don't want to be too spoilery, but the ending is apparently the cringiest thing you'll ever see in your life. And apparently there's a show about Meghan called With Love Meghan. But there you go. Darren Christian, thank you very much for the £2 super chat. Is it time the EU imposed Article 50 on Hungary? Fuck yeah. Hungary out, Britain in. Milton Keynes is brutalist, says Christopher Bowles. Yes, I know. They have concrete cows. Sexy. All I can see is Zelensky saying he wants to make things right with the US. Yeah. Ernie, tell me more apart from Guardian Graham. I'm on the Guardian website. It's nice that it's not updating. It's not updating as fast as it should be. Europe is running out of hope. Trump is still open to persuasion over Ukraine. I don't think we should have any hope from the start. We've known he's a Russian agent.
Oh, wait a minute. Here it is. Yeah. US and Ukraine, quote, preparing to sign mineral deals on Tuesday.
Okay. I'm still not getting it. Are you on the UK page or is this a US politics page?
No, it's on the live feed.
Oh, I'm doing that thing now.
I've got it. So I've got it here. US and Ukraine preparing to sign mineral deals on Tuesday. Donald Trump administration, Ukrainians plan to sign the much debated minerals deal. People familiar with the situation have now told Reuters. So we'll see if this goes ahead. Trump has told advisors that he wants to announce the agreement in his address to Congress. So, okay, we'll see if that happens as well. 3 sources have said that as well. Cautioning that the deal had yet to be signed and the situation could change. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens, no doubt.
So he wants to announce. So all that said is that President Trump has told his advisor he wants to announce the agreement in his address to Congress. As if I don't know, it might happen, but will Zelensky just go, yeah, right? Do you know what Zelensky should do? He should just say yeah, and then once it all goes down, he just pulls his hand out from behind his back and just goes, "I have my fingers crossed, mate." Sorry.
Well, one of the things that he could do, and this has been talked about a lot of people, that he could just go along with it, and then when Vladimir Putin starts issuing his insane demands, he can just turn around to Trump and just go, why are they issuing these absolutely outrageous demands? And just see what he does. Just show the world that, Putin is the one who is not serious about peace, that he's asking for absolutely insane things, which he has been since the beginning of this war.
Oh, yeah. He just wants all of Ukraine for himself. But yeah, Christopher Ball says it'll be another Charlie Brown rug pull. Yeah, absolutely. Tim Ballard says, just been making pancakes. Did I miss another gaffe from Trump? Maybe not. I
see what happens in this address to Congress later that's happening.
Did you see what I had? My pancakes. Did you see that in Politics Social?
Oh yeah.
I've
Pikachu. Yeah.
I've got like a Pikachu waffle maker. I got this for my birthday. It's the box. Look at that. How cool is that? And it's got like a little Pikachu on the picture on the actual thing. So you get like a little picture of a Pikachu. in your.
See, I haven't had my pancakes yet. I really want to go off my pancakes.
Well, we made two mixers. One with, if you make it with self-raising flour, then it goes fluffy like American stuff, and you can make waffles out of that. And if you just use normal flour, not self-raising, then you can make the crepes. Which I prefer actually. I don't like the American pancakes. There's too much of them. I don't know. I had some really good pancakes in Canada when I was in Canada recently. Trump sign it in Kiev.
That's true. People, if you can, buy Canadian.
Yes.
Yeah. If you want to stick it to Trump, look out for Canadian products, and buy Canadian, because that will help.
Yeah.
I can't tell you what to buy or what to look out for, because I don't know myself. But yeah, that will probably help a lot. Yeah, go buy Canadian.
Yeah. Blue Badger saying he should ask for the documents and edit it. Yeah, that's what he should do. He should say, I need to see this. He should turn around, because like did he used to be a magician as well as a comedian? Like he could swap it for another piece of paper that he's had prepared, and then he puts that in front of Trump. It looks exactly like the deal, right? He puts that in front of Trump, and Trump signs it because Trump can't fucking read, right?
Yeah.
And then he's like, ha ha, you've just signed away Russia. Russia is now mine. All your Russias belong to us. And, like, when I'm talking about bombing the shit out of the front lines, the Russian front lines, I mean, we should be doing some subversive shit to Russia. Like, why aren't we funding separatist groups in Dagestan and Chechnya and stuff? Why aren't we doing this stuff?
Well,
covert,
maybe it's time.
Anti-Putin operations. We should have been doing it fucking 20 years ago. I can't believe that we're not. It's a cheap thing to do. You send armies out to fight in Iraq and Afghanistan. You're spending billions of dollars. We've seen time and time again that you can sway the outcome of an election here or a referendum there with just like £7 million that you give to, I don't know, Aaron Banks or someone, allegedly. There's often pancakes in the chat. It's pancake day. It's pancake day. It's pancake day. Ollie's too young to get that reference, aren't you, Ollie? You young spring chicken, you. There's going to be some people in the chat that goes, I know what that's from. No clues. That's all you get. But it is actually pancake day. So yeah, it's not looking great. Trump, Putin is winning. Trump's helping him. Trump is wrecking US alliances left, right, and center. Mexico, Canada, NATO, Europe. This horrible little man, Vance, is sitting there going, it's all Europe's fault because they don't allow people to pray at the side of the road. He's trying to force Ukraine to surrender. He's damaging the America's economy, which only benefits Russia. Doesn't benefit America at all. He's openly supporting European far-right parties. And he's breaking NATO apart piece by piece.
Yep.
At which point do we just admit he's a Russian asset?
He's done Putin's work, Russia's work for him.
Yes. We used to do covert shit, against the Nazis and that. And in the Cold War, we used to do loads of fun covert stuff to fuck over the Ruskies. Why don't we do that anymore? It's not that they ever stop being our perpetual enemy.
Well, but yeah, I think, like I say, there's a lot of difficult decisions, and Europe's going to have to start doing some of this stuff. I think one of the things we should do is we should get on the phone to any ex-IRA members and saying, "Oh yeah, go train all those Ukrainians."
Yeah,
why not?
Good idea.
Because we already know that there's resistance behind the lines already.
Yeah.
That's not going to stop.
Just fuck things up every day. Just fuck things up for them every single day. Well, it reminds me a lot of the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, which was signed in 1938 between what was then Nazi Germany and Soviet Russia, the USSR, basically splitting up the Europe into two spheres of influence. And I can see the same thing happening. First of all, it'd be Ukraine, with America going in the west and Russia going in the east and taking all the resources. something they want to do across Europe, and something that I argued on Sunday. I think it's what they want to do with the Arctic. I think they want to draw a nice straight line down the middle of the Arctic, as straight as you can get on a curve, and basically say everything to the east is Russian, and everything to the west
it's great
American.
power politics. It's a return to like pre-World War One.
Why else do they want Greenland and Canada? Like, what does that give America? Half of the Arctic. Who's got the other half? Russia. Norway's got a bit. Finland's got a bit. Yeah, not great. Not great situation to be in. Mike Higgins says, any day of the year can be a pancake day. Today is Shrove Tuesday. You're absolutely right. But, you know, we have pancakes today because I just like cultural appropriation. Chris C says, would it be cruel of me to take a photo of the egg prices and post it on social media targeted at Americans? No. You can totally do that. The Pact of Mar-a-Lago knows what Putin, Trump has agreed, indeed. And Super Tiger says, I hate throwing all my unused pancake mix away in case I upset old Jeepers. I don't know, is that a tradition? You got to throw your old pancake stuff away? I usually put mine in the fridge, make some pancakes for breakfast the next day. Kieran, thank you very much for the £2 super chat. The occupation is the hard part. Yeah. You try and occupy a place that doesn't want you there. And, you know, they'll lay low for 20 years, but eventually you'll have to leave. You will have to leave, as we discovered in Afghanistan, and as the Soviets discovered in Afghanistan in the 1980s. If the people don't want you there, they don't want you there. And there's no winning of the hearts and, the winning of hearts and minds that can go on, really. Because if just a minority of people don't want you there, you could probably blunder through it. But when literally over half the population does not want you there, you're fucked. You're looking over your shoulder the whole time. You can never let your guard down because those people don't want you in their country. And given half the opportunity, those people will fucking kill you.
You know what we could really do? Just buy a load of eggs and just do like a really weird like shower scene and just smash them all over ourselves. Just go, oh, look at that. Oh, America. Oh, look at all my cheap eggs.
Russell Cannon says, is it pancake day in America too? $12 eggs. It is. Mardi Gras, Fat Tuesday. Indeed it is. And Billy Kershaw, he's got the last comment of the night, I think. I love this. Pancakes are just Yorkshire puddings with no aspiration.
True.
Agreed.
True. Absolute. biggest truth of the night.
A very flat Yorkshire pudding. Love Yorkshire puddings. Right. Ollie, thank you so much for talking to us. There's so much to talk about. Like, honestly, I've got through like half my agenda, but it's 20 to 9 now. I've got to go to bed. It's past me bedtime. But thank you so much for coming on the show. And thank you for watching. And thanks to everyone who left a comment. Big thanks to everyone who left a super chat. It's really, really, really kind of you. If you'd like to join the channel and get a little rose next to your name, there's so many people there. Chris C and Puninator, Russell Cannon, and Anne Phillips. They've got a little Witchy Goth. They've got a little Jane Lockwood. They've got a little rose next to their name. If you would like one of those, just simply press the join button and you can join the channel and you get a little rose after your name and your name at the end. And before we go, give us a like on the way out, please. That would be very kind of you, and we would appreciate it a lot, wouldn't we, Ollie?
Yep, give us a like. Give us a
also, follow Ollie on @Bowlerhatman. If you on the title of this link, on the title of this video, if you click on his name, Bowlerhatman, it should take you to his channel. Give him a subscribe, because we all need more subscribers. It's one thing we don't have enough of. Do you know what the world needs now? It's not love, it's more subscribers. Yeah. So subscribe. Hey, and tell your friends to subscribe as well. We can all meet here every morning, every night, until the heat death of the universe. But until then, I'll say thanks for watching. I'll be back in the morning, bright and early, 9 o'clock, I hope. The traffic's not too bad. And for Morning Brew, we've also got Prime Minister's Questions. Should be bloody interesting tomorrow as well. So look out for that at 12 o'clock. And until then, I'll say thanks for watching. Hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.
Bye.